Welcome to County Report this week. I'm Anquinette Crosby. Thank you for joining us. Coming up in the next half hour, the County Council gets an update from Metro's top boss about issues facing the Red Line, plus a Zika health alert for pregnant women traveling abroad. More about the warning from county health officials, and proving it's never too soon, how this summer camp is giving local students a career head start. But first, officials are celebrating the completion of the largest solar project in a county facility. Lorna Virgili was there for the major switch on and tells us where it's all taking place. Lorna?
Anquinette, this is a field of 10 acres with hundreds of these panels that are intended to save about $500,000 every year in energy costs to that facility.
All right, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, up.
With a throw of a switch, this marks the 15th facility in Montgomery County to transition into solar energy, moving closer to independence from the power grid.
We have the land, we have the facility next door. We also have on the correctional system itself panels as well. And so what you'll find in other county facilities, more the traditional array of panels on top of the buildings. And all of our facilities that we can retrofit within the foreseeable future, we're going to look at them to evaluate to make certain that we can exhaust every means possible to provide the solar panels on top of it.
You're watching Council Wrap-Up for the month of November. I'm Susan Kennedy. It was a big month for the County Council. First, the unanimous approval and signing of a bill to raise the minimum wage. It's been a big week for Montgomery County.
Ladies and gentlemen, we have a unanimous vote.
I am so proud to be in Montgomery County today and to be talking about this.
We've had a rather contentious debate, but more important, Montgomery County has done what is right, what is appropriate, and what is reasonable under the circumstances and conditions.
And a big week for Montgomery County workers.
It has been a struggle to live in Montgomery County as housing prices still are an issue. I'm doing my best to keep my head above water. I'm always in the process of scaling down my expenses. So thank you for finally passing a $15 per hour minimum wage bill.
A unanimous council approved this latest bill to raise the minimum wage beginning in 2021. The vote comes less than 1 year after the council's first attempt at raising the wage was rejected by the county executive. Councilmember Mark Elrich was the lead sponsor of the measure. He called the vote the biggest accomplishment of his council career.
Hello and welcome to this edition of One-on-One with Montgomery County Executive Isaiah Leggett. I'm Lorna Virgili and thank you for joining us. Hello, Mr. Leggett, how are you?
Very well. How are you today?
Very well. How is the weather treating you?
Off and on.
But you're happy about not so much snow this year, huh?
Oh, certainly.
As we tape this show, County Council has not officially approved your FY18 $5.44 billion budget. Have you heard anything back? Do you feel that it's going to move forward just the way it was? Or?
Well, I haven't heard anything that's drastically bad, but I'm concerned about one or two factors. The expenditures over and above the recommendations, because I think we took a very cautious approach, believing that there are some challenges out there ahead for us because of the large number of federal workers that we have, some ongoing expenses that we have that's built into the budget already, plus some anticipated costs going into FY19 and beyond. And so we need a little bit more flexibility. And so this budget was designed as a cautious budget, and I hope that they will at least stay within those parameters as close to as possible.
You haven't heard any complaints?
Not as of yet.
Up next on Did You Know? The DC Diaper Bank helps families in need, and teens create public art through Arts on the Block. Stay tuned. The DC Diaper Bank is a nonprofit that provides diapers and other mother and child items to local social service organizations, which in turn distributes them to families in need. Founded by Corinne Cannon in 2010, its warehouse is located in Silver Spring, Maryland.
We distribute about 150,000 diapers every month to about 40 partner agencies in Maryland, DC, and Virginia. Each family gets between 25 and 50 diapers each month, and that is because there are studies that have shown that that's the gap between what a family has and what a family needs. It's usually they're short between 25 and 50 diapers. Mostly it's families who are on some form of assistance, WIC, food stamps, something along those lines.
Up next, a visit to the Agricultural History Farm Park, a new bike share program in Montgomery parks, and hitting a bullseye at South Germantown Recreational Park. Stay tuned. Welcome to another episode of Parks Wreck and Roll. Our first story today takes us to Durwood, Maryland. The 455-acre Agricultural History Farm Park is where the past, present, and future of Montgomery County farming is on display. Here's Program Manager Lisa Beret to tell us more about this unique place.
Well, we actually have two parts that are kind of distinctive at the farm park. We have the modern historic site, which is what part of the barn is that you see here. The historic site covers essentially the years 1780, when there was first farming here on the site, up until the 1960s, when the farm sold the property to the county.
Welcome to Made in Montgomery. I'm Susan Kennedy. I'm standing here in Rockville in the Maryland Bio Lab. Officials here are passionate about getting kids more interested in careers in science and technology. This new mobile lab gives kids hands-on STEM education.
This trailer might not look like much from the outside, but step inside this ride and you are entering the largest mobile STEM lab of its kind in the country. The 53-foot-long MX lab has about 1,000 square feet of space and can accommodate up to 40 students. It teaches lessons on biology, chemistry, and environmental science, and it's equipped with all the necessary tools to give future scientists real-world, hands-on experience.
The entire process is called gel electrophoresis, and we make a gel to separate different DNA molecules.
Well, particularly in Montgomery County, many of the employers, many of the jobs in the county are STEM-based. Science, technology, engineering-based, even traditional careers that you may not think are STEM actually have a bit of math or science in there. So students to have that kind of background, it's pretty critical for them to get a quality career.
Since 2003, the Maryland Bio Foundation has been providing STEM education to communities across the state. Starting this year, this new lab will travel to 35 different high schools across the state, reaching about 10,000 students.
Up next, a brief history of Germantown. Stay tuned. This is Black Rock Center for the Arts in Germantown. Since 2002, this facility has served as a vibrant visual and performing arts center for the Up County. On today's Paths to the Present, we'll learn how Black Rock got its name as we explore the history of Germantown. Joining me today to help anchor this show is Councilmember Craig Rice. Craig not only represents this part of the county, he lives here as well. Welcome, Craig.
Thanks so much for having me, Barbara.
Sure. So Craig, how long have you and your family lived in Germantown?
So we moved here in 2003. We were living in Rockville at the time, my wife and I, and decided this would be a great place to start a family.
I'm just curious, how much of the history were you aware of when you moved here?
Beyond the fact of that Germantown was north, going up 270, and then the fact that there were a lot of cows that we had heard were here as well.
So I don't think you're alone in that. I think with all the development that's happened here, it's pretty hard to uncover all of the history. But fortunately, we have the Germantown Historical Society, and they helped prepare a video that we're going to watch today. Why don't we take a look at that now?
Excellent.
Historian and Germantown resident Susan Soderberg began our Germantown history tour in Seneca Creek State Park, where these ruins are located.
Well, this is Black Rock Mill, and it's important for two reasons. One is the Black Rock, which Black Rock Center is named for. That is a rock that they used for building. It's a schist, it's very hard, and this mill was actually built from the Black Rock, as well as many other buildings and chimneys around here. And the second reason is because of the mill itself. Black Rock Mill was one of about a dozen mills that were on Seneca Creek, or the tributaries to Seneca Creek in Germantown. These mills had to be located next to the creeks because they were powered by the water.
Saludos y bienvenidos a esta edición de fin de año de Cápsula Informativa del Condado de Montgomery. Yo soy Lorna Virgilí y durante los próximos minutos vamos a recorrer un año que estuvo plasmado de noticias importantes, pero el cual podemos definir como el año en que se aumentó el salario mínimo en Montgomery, comenzó la revitalización de Wheaton, se implementó ley para proteger más a los inquilinos, comenzó la construcción de la línea púrpura del tren, se le dio un frente unido al clima antimigratorio a nivel nacional y la Gala Hispana del Ejecutivo de Montgomery celebró su 5º aniversario. Y en el mes de junio se asentó la primera piedra y comenzó la construcción en el Triángulo de Wheaton, una inversión de $170 millones que traerá varias oficinas del gobierno de Montgomery y 1,000 empleados a fomentar sede en Wheaton.
En sintonía con el Consejo de Montgomery, un programa que busca empoderar a la comunidad latina con información valiosa e impulsar el diálogo y la participación cívica en los procesos locales.
El día de hoy estamos hablando todo sobre la estimulación temprana en nuestros hijos y cómo esto puede marcar una gran diferencia en el futuro educativo de los menores. Nuestras invitadas el día de hoy, la señora Lisa Condon, especialista de educación temprana para las escuelas públicas del condado de Montgomery, la señora Rosana Espinosa, quien es proveedora de cuidado infantil en el hogar, la señora Nélida Andrés, quien pertenece al Montgomery College y se especializa en temas de educación temprana, y la señora Mayra Cruz Solís, quien nos acompaña todos los viernes en nuestro segmento El Momento Cívico, y ella es el enlace para la comunidad latina de la oficina de la concejal Nancy Navarro. ¿A qué edad creen ustedes que es importante dar inicio con esta estimulación temprana?
Bueno, desde que el niño nace, realmente ahora vemos, como decía Lisa, ya las mamás desde que están embarazadas le están leyendo a su niño, le están hablando, le están tocando, le están poniendo música. Entonces, desde que está en el vientre de una madre es que nosotros comenzamos a estimular, nosotros como padres.
Montgomery County's snow shoveling law requires all property owners to clear snow and ice from public sidewalks adjacent to their property within 24 hours after the snow stops falling. That includes sidewalks located in both the front and back of your property. The path must be wide enough to safely accommodate pedestrians and wheelchairs. When clearing walks, don't forget to help your neighbors who may not be able to shovel. And it's a good idea to clear snow from storm drains, downspouts, and especially fire hydrants. Here's a handy tip. Wait until the plow makes the first pass along your street to shovel in front of your driveway, so the plows don't undo some of your hard work. When Montgomery County and the state of Maryland declare a snow emergency, parking is prohibited along snow emergency routes. The emergency routes are marked by signs. To make things a bit confusing, the state of Maryland and Montgomery County have different snow emergency routes, and they don't always declare snow emergencies at the same time. Want to park off-street during snowstorms? During a county snow emergency, Montgomery County's Department of Transportation may allow free parking in all county-owned parking garages. Check the snow portal for updates on the emergency declarations, free parking, and more.
This is a public hearing on zoning text amendment 17-08, bed and breakfast historic buildings. This CTA would revise the definition and requirements for a bed and breakfast, allow a bed and breakfast under more permissive standards when the facility is located in a historic building, and generally amend the provisions for a bed and breakfast. Fed committee work session on this CTA is tentatively scheduled for Monday, November 27th. For everyone scheduled to testify today, please bring copies of your written testimony to the clerk at this time. Persons wishing to submit additional material for the council's consideration should do so before the close of business, November 7th. I believe we have 2 speakers. You are not Mr. Anderson. You keep doing that. Is this? Are you like a wannabe? Is that? And you're not on your bike, you got to bring the bike, you got to do the hair. We turn it to you, good sir.
Before I start, I'm also speaking to the other 2 ZTAs. Should I just separate them or just do them all now? How would you like for me?
I actually would prefer if you separate them and then let's stay there for the other 2 so that we hold our little minds all at once.
Works for me.
Thank you, sir.